try something. Let me see if I can be able to read this any better. Doesn't let me make it. Maybe make it a little wider. I don't know if that will increase the size of the text. I popped out the chat. I don't know if that will help or not. Oh. It's just a little bit too far away for me to be able to read it. I'll tell you, it's rough when the eyes start to go. Try and get you as close as possible. Oh. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, Duncan. How are you this afternoon? I am coming live from a new location. My barn. I finally got the extension cord pulled up out of the goat pen because they don't need their heat lamp anymore. So, yeah, I had an extension cord run from the cabin all the way down to the goat shelter so that when it was really cold, we had those into the 20s and even teens nights that I could give the goats a heat lamp. What can I say? I'm just a softie. I saw Mama shivering one day. It's like, okay, you do need a heat lamp. So, besides the straw that I put in there. So, yeah, I'm just a softie. So anyway, needless to say, they don't need their heat lamp anymore. So I took my extension cord back. This extension cord had been bought with the exact purpose of being able to run my table saw in my barn. So it is now hooked up into my barn. Yep, on my coat to the winter too. Okay, I don't feel so bad. I thought I was the only one who put a heat lamp in for the goats. Oh, what can I say? What? No? Yeah. Whatever. My son hollering at me. Oh, well, what can I say? So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm in my barn. See my little organizer there. It's not completely full yet. It's only about halfway full. I was trying to put some little stuff in there. And let me see here. Turn this a little bit this way, I think. Yeah, I got some of my tack hung on the wall there. That thing there needs to get pulled out of here. I had electric fence strung around the barn before this was put up. So, and it's also wear coats or vests in the winter. Okay, I'm not quite that bad yet. But Duncan, where are you at? Are you in a more northern state? I'm in Kentucky, so I didn't think it was cold enough down here to warrant, putting blankets on the animals. So, I mean, not when you're used to colder temps anyway. So, yeah. So anyway, and I've got my workbench, which is a total wreck. Missouri. Yeah, I think you're northern Missouri. You might be get a little bit colder. But they were doing good up until we got, into the 20s and the teens. It's like, nah. And that shelter that they're in right now, it's a temporary shelter. It gives them a break from the wind, as best as I could anyway. But it's not Midwestern Missouri. Okay. Yeah, I think you might be a little bit cooler, maybe. I don't know. Seems to me, I think your winters are a little bit cooler. Maybe they just feel that way. I don't know. So anyway, yeah. So and that shelter, like I said, it's temporary. Hey there, Off Kilter Homestead. Welcome. I was just talking about my goats. I I didn't steal. I took back my extension cord that I had bought so I could run my table saw in the barn, because I was using the heat lamp for them. And like I said, that shelter it's temporary, and it was, I made it as weather tight as I could, considering. I mean, when it was going to be cold, I bedded them down heavily with straw. I made sure that there was a floor, get them up off the damp ground. I did what I could, to make sure that they would be as warm as possible when it got cold. And that included running a heat lamp in there, so that, they had something and they would curl up. They would curl up under it. So anyway, they don't need it anymore. I took the extension cord back, and hopefully they won't be in that same shelter this coming winter. Hopefully I get the barn built. It's flat land here, so the wind blows. Oh, that will do it. You got a wind, that'll do it. Yeah. So we're a little bit more sheltered here. We're in a holler, but we still do get some wind, as is testament to the fact that my tool shelter went helter-skelter, topsy-turvy, and hence everything is now in the barn, which is not supposed to be my workshop, but I had to put stuff at somewhere, and I think I still have a few things up there, up on the hill. So eventually things will get organized. I hope so. I have been working on my chicken coop. I have got to get the chicken coop done. It should have been done by now. I do have chicks. I have 3 different ages so far. Miss living in the mountains. Yeah, I'm loving it here. I am absolutely loving it. And things were getting a little bit hairy. I had 2 chicks that were a week older than the next older set of chicks, and at least one of those older chicks was pecking on the younger chicks, and I don't know if it was after the feathers or what, but I had several bloodied chicks. And if you know anything about chickens, if it's red, they're pecking at it, and they have been known to kill a chicken that's been bloodied. They will kill it just because they got to peck at it. So it's horrible. But that's the nature of chickens. So I've got a bunch of purple colored chicks, because I sprayed blue coat on their wounds, which makes it the colors of purple, so it makes it less attractive for pecking. However, that did not stop. I took the chick out that I believed was the culprit, and I just took it out of the brooder. I didn't have any place else to put it, so I just put it out of the brooder loose. And it hung close to the brooder. It wanted to stay with the chicks. It was all it knew. And so that night I put it back in. And because I felt sorry for her. I was a softie. What can I say? I just explained that to someone a couple of days ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's what, like, it's my favorite saying on my channel is, nature of the beast. You got to understand the nature of the beast. And they all have their own natures. And that is the thing with chickens. So anyway, because I was a little softy, and since I had, pretty much sprayed purple on most of the chicks, I figured, okay, I'll give it a chance. Put it back in there overnight. The next morning, I had a few with some fresh wounds. I said, that's it. So since the 2 older chicks are very similar, they're same coloring. They're just barnyard mixes. Okay, those 2 chicks. I couldn't determine which one it was. So it's like, you know what? They're fully feathered. They're old enough. They don't need to be in the brooder. They don't need to be under a heat lamp. I relocated them to the goat shelter. I figured, you know what? They can live their lives in there, peck off any pests that might be lurking in the bedding of the goats, and they can just have a wonderful married life, and hopefully they'll be happy. They were happy about it yesterday. I saw one of them briefly this morning, and I haven't been in there to check to see what if they're both made it. They probably did. Put a little Vicks on the injured chicken and one taste, and the others leave it alone. That would do it, wouldn't it? I never believed certain birds were descendants of dinos. Then I got chickens, and I understand why people would think that. Yeah, well, I don't believe chickens are from dinos either, because anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, yeah, they're birds. I tell people they're bird brains. Okay, they're not the brightest birds on their faces earth. Okay, they run by instinct, and their instinct is to peck at red. Okay, that's what you want. Besides, chickens are omnivores. They're not vegetarians. They're omnivores, and they do eat meat, and they apparently don't make any distinction as to what meat it is they eat. If they can peck at it, if they can get it, they'll eat it. It's what my mom always done, and it worked. Yeah, well, hey, if it works, I didn't know about that. I had Blue Coat, and Blue Coat also would help to heal the wounds, kind of put a coating on them. So I figured it was twofold, treat the wounds and also disguise the wounds. So it's what I had. That's what I used. So anyway, problem is at this point solved. So I've been working on the new chicken coop. I've got the floor frame down, and I got some boards. I need to tear apart some more pallets because I need the thicker boards. I've got some thin boards, and I got some thicker boards, and I want all the boards on the floor to be the thicker ones. So, and it's going to be basically similar to the guinea coop. And it's going to be, if it works, that's right. And it worked. So the coop is going to be just the rat wire on the front. Okay. Open on the southern side. It'll be a solid wood wall on the west side and on the north side. And then on the east side, it'll be half covered, half wood wall, and half rat wire. Okay. And that'll keep them sheltered from the majority of the weather. Okay. And then and it'll also keep it a bright, airy, well ventilated coop. Okay. Now, ideally, I would love to have a piece of scrap linoleum to put on the floor, because it would be much easier to keep clean. But right now, that's not an option because I just don't have the extra to go do that. And besides, you want to put that down on preferably a plywood floor, which again is not an option for me right now. I have pallets. That's what I have to use. That's what I'm using. So they will have shelter. As it is, it's bad enough. I'm going to have to go out and buy, I think I need 3 more sheets of the roofing tin. Hey, Christy, you made it. How you doing? We're talking about chickens right now. I'll get to my husband in a couple of minutes. Haven't forgotten. But yeah, I had. So the chickens, the chicks will be over here, just past the guinea coop, and the ducks will be. I'm not sure how I'm going to do them. I know I need to get them away from the cabin. I was thinking like on the this between the guineas and the barn. That's what I was thinking. What I need to do is I need to get them to where they know where there's plenty of water, which is the creek and the pond. And right now they haven't got their flight feathers yet. They're pretty much feathered out, but they're not totally feathered out. So they're allowed to free range during the day. And I lock them up at night. At some point, they will be down here. They'll be cooped up down here at night. I'm just trying to get all my livestock pretty much in a safe zone. And the safe zone is going to be just below the cabin where I can see, without too much difficulty. And the there's going to be a fence, a solid wire fence around the perimeter, not just the electric fence. Keep watch at TSC. Their plants come on very strong. Come on very strong plastic pallets. They throw them away? Really? Your friend uses them for a floor and goat barn? I'll have to take a look. I always thought that they recycled or they returned those plastic pallets. I would love to get my hand on some of those plastic pallets. Oh, hi, Carl. And my phone is going off. Oh, dear me. My Alexa Pure, I don't know what's going on. My Alexa Pure filter is not running. If anybody has any ideas, okay, I called the company. They returned me my call, but I couldn't take the call, and I guess I thought I had it fixed, resolved, and now it's at times it runs good, and other times it's like it's clogged up or something. It's like I am only running rainwater through it, and I filter the rainwater before I put it in the Alexa Pure, and it's just not running. So I got to figure that out. I don't know what the deal is. It should be, because I filled the thing this morning. No, this morning or last night. I put a lot in there last night, and I made coffee this morning. And that pretty much drained what was in there. They threw everything away. My coop is built with bad boy lawnmower crate. Yeah. Guess what? The hen house is built from, well, the floor anyway. The floor so far is from the crates that they were throwing out. It was a good solid frame. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to tear this apart. I'm just going to use that as the framework for the floor. It's good and solid. I had a few more boards to it from some of the ones I had to tear apart because they were mostly busted up. But don't you live the same water filter? Oh, Brenda. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with it. If anybody has any ideas, I don't know if it's a defective filter or what the deal is. I mean, it's pretty simple. You put the water in the top, it runs through the filter, and it comes out the bottom, and it's clean water. So I don't know what the problem is. I mean, we've only had it for maybe 2 months, if that. So it's like there's no chlorine, there's no fluoride, there's no chemicals. It's just rainwater. That's what we're using, and it just I don't know what the deal is. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the using the pallets and the crates to build the hen house. So that's what I'm doing, and also the pen that the ducks are kept in. That is from the crate side walls. I just added chicken wire, and it's like I know. I always preach against chicken wire. It's almost useless stuff, but we haven't really had any predation around here at night, and I took a chance. And also I was lucky when they were really small. I'd locked them in a dog crate, okay, which would open out into their pen. So right now the basic purpose for the pen is to keep the guineas away from the ducks so the ducks can eat their breakfast and can eat their dinner, because the guineas will flock at it. I'm trying to get the guineas. There's ticks. Go eat the ticks. Okay? We still have ticks. Go eat the ticks. They're spoiled rotten. They want the feed. So I'm only feeding the guineas at night. Don't have a water purifier, but probably need one. Possibly. I probably will have to do some water catchment until I get a well done. Yeah, I was like, oh, speaking of a water catchment. Yeah, I got to get on the I got to send an email to the guy. I got my packet for my the water catchment thing, and it's like they're talking about other stuff in there that I hadn't really thought about, and it's like, oh great, is this thing going to be more complicated than what I can handle? So I got to get on the email the guy. It's just I just haven't had the chance with everything going on with my husband. Speaking of my husband, okay. You all heard my rant about his poor experience with urgent care. Yeah, I'm still ticked off about that because I didn't see any need of it. Well, it got him in the hospital, and they did get his heart rate down. He is on 2 medications. One medication that they have him on is Eliquis. It is extremely expensive. They got him a coupon. That's what they called it, was a coupon, where he got it for free for the first month. Now, as far as I know, as far as he knows, it's only good for the 1 month. It's like, why? Do you really think that our financial situation is going to be better in a month? Maybe you know something I don't know, because I really didn't think so. It's like $400 to $500 for a month's supply. So he was so anyway, this stuff, I don't know, that he went to see his regular doctor, and his regular doctor was telling him that, well, if you need to stretch your medication, you, instead of taking it twice a day, only take it once a day. And it's like, really? I'm not sure. And then they're talking, well, he could always just take a 325 milligram of aspirin. And it's like, does he have to take it? They're saying he has to take it for the rest of his life. Okay? So I don't know what the deal is. And then they were saying 325 milligrams of aspirin instead. Well, the last time he had a cardiac scare, like 10 years ago or so, could have been longer than 10 years ago. And he was in the hospital, and he says he doesn't even remember being in the hospital. I remember it vividly because I was scared to death. Anyway, the doctor then, cardiologist, prescribed him 325 milligrams of aspirin a day. And it's like, that's a pretty serious blood thinner. That's a pretty high dose. It's like, you're going to end up with internal bleeding. And, and he poo-pooed me because, well, the doctor knows better than I do. So at the time, he was playing baseball. It's got to be more than 10 years ago if he was playing baseball with just a church league. And he was coming home bruised all to pieces. I mean, big, deep purple bruises. It's like, no, this is not good. This is not good at all. I said, you want to take aspirin? Fine. Take the baby aspirin, but there's 325 milligrams a day. No, that's way too much. You're going to end up bleeding out. So it sounds like a decision for the caller. That's exactly what I thought, Christy. It's like, he's got an appointment in a couple weeks with a cardiologist. And it's like, we'll talk to them then. Now, unfortunately, I'll tell you, you just don't know what to expect anymore. When I took him to I wonder if that's a cat up there. When I took him to the clinic that sent him to the hospital, they did not require a mask. Okay. They took us in, no problems, treat you, not a problem. I took him to his regular doctor over here. Oh, you can't be seen if you're not wearing a mask. So I didn't have a mask. I went out to the car. So I was not in the room when the doctor was in there because I probably would have questioned him. So hopefully the cardiologist does not have any fool ideas like that. No, I'm not a proponent of wearing masks. I really am not. There's no indication whatsoever that they actually work, especially those homemade cloth ones. As a matter of fact, there's been studies that show that they do not work, that they actually do more harm than good. So it's like, no, thank you. I am healthy. I'm perfectly healthy. I have no issues whatsoever. I don't need to be wearing a mask. Okay. That's the problem. My blood wouldn't clot. I couldn't take vitamin E even. Oh man, that's rough. Now, do they have you prescribed with vitamin K? Because vitamin K is a vitamin for clotting your blood. That would be the antidote for warfarin. Warfarin thins your blood, and vitamin K is the antidote for it. So maybe you're not getting enough vitamin K, which is in grass-fed milk and butter. And I don't remember if it's anything else or not, but I do remember it being in grass-fed butter. So I don't know. The deal was they couldn't get his heart rate down. It took him a combination of 3 medications overnight to get it down. They kept him in ICU for 2 days. And then overnight in a regular step-down room. And then they sent him home and told him to follow up with his regular doctor and a cardiologist. So, but needless to say, not a whole lot got done here. Needless, for sure. An 80-year-old man prayed for me. Oh, that prayer works. Knock that autoimmune response out. Okay, that's good. Get that 80-year-old man to pray for my husband. Here at the clinic that I work on the weekends, I'm required to have one on whenever I leave the desk. You have a mask on whenever you leave the desk. Not while you're sitting at the desk, but while you... people can't get it straight about the mask. They really can't. It's like, if you're requiring me to wear a mask, I'm not going. I'm sorry. I tried putting a mask on. I can't handle it. Hi, Raven's Nature. I can't handle having a mask on my face. I had a dust mask that I could wear briefly, but I could pull that off when I wasn't using the saw. Okay, and it was just to keep the dust out of my nose and whatnot, especially when I was sawing the pressure treated stuff. I would definitely have something over my face for that, but to be wearing it nonstop for an hour or more, no, especially if there's no need. If there's no need, why do it? It's like, figure, save these medical grade masks that are supposedly in short supply. I don't know if they still are, but they were. Save them for those who really need it in the hospitals and whatnot. They're treating these people, and come to find out, the coronavirus is not as bad as what they were saying to begin with. That is one thing I wanted to mention too. I talked to the cardiologist in the hospital about it. And he says, this is from a doctor now, a cardiologist, and he said, based on his experience with treating those around here, especially from the hot spot near me, that those who had an underlying medical condition, especially involving the lungs, those are the ones who consistently did poorly. If you were healthy prior to getting the COVID, you did fine. Okay. Some had no symptoms, some had more severe symptoms, but the vast majority of them Well, they all recovered. Okay, you did fine. Yeah, you were sick. Who and nobody likes being sick, but it's a fact of life. We get sick. Our immune system, if it's healthy and it's functioning, builds antibodies. It fights off the disease, and you recover. Okay. My doc started seeing people on the porch one at a time while he ups his filtration system for the building. Just waves the next up from their car. Well, then, hey, if it's good weather, why not? I have had too many doctors say that the mask caused more damage than good. Exactly. That's exactly what I've heard. And my church is requiring people, if they are attending, to wear a mask. Guess who has not gone to church? I tried it the first day. I couldn't handle it. I left. Okay. And I told them, I'll be back when you no longer require a mask. So now I have heard just recently that there are some churches, at least one anyway, that is not requiring their, the people who are attending to wear a mask. And that is a possibility. If this goes on for too long, I may seek out that church if it's one that I'm comfortable in being in. So it's an option. But if you're requiring me to have a mask for your business, for church, for a gathering, don't expect to see me there. I'll take my business elsewhere. I'll go elsewhere. I've been running around since this whole thing began without a mask. I've been in public. I've been around people. I have changed nothing. Nothing. I always wash my hands when out there. I still continue to wash my hands with soap. Okay. Soap and water. And I have never gotten anything, the flu or anything. Okay. And it's like, I just don't see the need of having a mask. Call me a rebel, call me crazy, call me a fool. I don't care. I'm not going to wear a mask. Okay. So anyway, so my husband is doing okay. Now, I don't know how much he will ever be able to do around here from here on out. I really don't. If he's on blood thinners, he's got to be careful. Okay. I don't need him bleeding out. So interesting one where a lady cut off the top half of a Halloween mask. It looked ridiculous and won't wear one either. Yeah, there's no reason for it. My beard is so big I could wear. As a matter of fact, that's what I told my Amish guys. I said, when they started, saying a mask, just pull your beard up over your face. There you go. You're good. They thought that was a hoot. I hate it. So yeah, the bandana. Yeah, I that's why I tried the bandana too. I figured, oh well, I have bandanas. I'll just put that. No, I couldn't take it. Yeah, it's like if you have a compromised immune system, if you have an underlying lung issue, like I know someone who has black lung disease, they've got to be careful. I understand that. Okay. Don't go in the public. Okay. Just don't go, avoid big crowds, don't touch anything you don't have to touch, I would use a bandana when I go to Lowe's too, right around my forehead, because I'm usually sweating in there. So, but that's, like I said, if you have medical issues, do what you think you need to do to protect yourself. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. You feel like wearing a mask is going to help you and going to protect you, fine. But not just against the coronavirus, protect you against other things too, because the coronavirus is no worse than anything else we got out there, really. It's no more deadly. It's the same. It's a disease that if you're in poor health to begin with, it's going to take you down. Okay, so just do what you need to do if you have health issues. My husband had the COVID test. He came back negative. He hardly goes anywhere anyway. Now, he went to church this morning. He wore a mask. He doesn't have a problem wearing a mask. That's good. That's wonderful. More power to him. Okay. So let him go. The church is local. He's not going to get into too much difficulty between here and there. But other than that, he really doesn't go that many places without me anyway. So if a store requires you to wear a mask, I won't shop there. Yeah, exactly. Same here. And I have not been in any store where I have been turned away because I don't have a mask on. I think I went to one place. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been just a little convenience store. I don't remember. But they had a sign on there. I just barely caught it because I wasn't really looking for it. But something about you must wear a mask. Well, I didn't. I walked in. Nobody said anything. And I've seen where the clerks weren't wearing masks. Now, if they feel like they want to, there are some that do wear them. But there have been those that don't either. So, and as far as I can tell, I've been keeping up with it. There's no new cases in my area. The nursing home that's been the big thing here, and that is really the sad part about it, is that the nursing homes are the ones that have been hit the hardest, which makes sense. Okay, those are the most vulnerable. Their immune system is compromised just simply because they're older. It's been worn out. And, they've got other underlying health issues, which is why they're there in the nursing home. Okay. And precautions were not taken early on, which should probably always be in place. And that's why they were the hardest hit with this virus. Okay. And that's where the majority of your deaths come from, is the nursing homes. I do know of one case, was an older man. He supposedly was healthy beforehand, and he was self-quarantined from work because somebody that was positive, he had interacted with or something. He self-quarantined, and supposedly he got the virus, and because he was alone, and I believe solely because he was alone, he died. Nobody was there to see that he required additional medical attention. And it's so sad, because if he had gotten proper medical attention, he probably would still be here with his family. But because of the lockdown, he died from the coronavirus, because nobody saw that he needed it. It's like, my husband is here today because I am the one who made the appointment. I am the one who took him to see a doctor. If he had been on his own, I don't know that he would have pursued it, because I asked him if he wanted to go to the ER, and he said no. When I asked if he wanted to go see his doctor, if he wanted me to make an appointment for his doctor, he didn't say anything. So I went ahead and called. They were full up. They had suggested that he go to another clinic in another town. And I hummed and hawed. I said, okay, how bad is he? Will he be, should I wait until the weekend is over and see if he gets better, or should I go ahead and take him? And I opted to take him. Just, one of those things. If I hadn't have taken him, would he have survived the weekend? I don't know. My own sister died from a rapid heartbeat that was brought on as a side effect of a medication that she was on. And when I was there to see her the day before she died, I asked her, "Do you want me to take you to the ER?" She said no. "Are you sure?" She said no. I went to work. I went on about my business. The next morning, she died of a heart attack in her own home. And I kicked myself. I should have taken her. I should have made her go. So that was in the back of my mind. Well, I didn't know at that time that it was a rapid heartbeat. He was saying breathing problems, okay? So I had no idea it was his heartbeat. But, when I found it was a rapid heartbeat, it's like it scared me. And I'm so glad that clinic jumped on it immediately. And they didn't mess around. 2 seconds, took his pulse, called the ambulance, and took him to the hospital. They didn't mess around. And I'm very grateful for them for being on the ball. Seriously. Oh, I'm sure I'm missing some of the chat. Sister was in a nursing home for rehab. I got her out right before this hit. Oh, wonderful, Christy. That was very, very good of you to do that. See, I've gotten so many death stares for ignoring those directions. Aisle signs, direction. Oh, yes, I've seen those. Are they the most ridiculous things you ever saw? A few people tried to confront me. Yeah, you know what? I've seen those direction signs, and nobody in my area, any of the ones I've been in, nobody pays any attention to them. So, I don't know what area you're in, but I know where I am. It's like nobody's paying attention to them, so I don't worry about it. The home threw my sister's potassium out using too much heparin in her IV. Oh my. Honestly, if it's one thing I have learned between my mother, my sister, my husband, even myself, you need to be proactive. Do not rely on the doctors and nursing staff. Now, I'm not saying that they are, they don't know how to do the job, or they don't know what they're doing, or anything like that. Let's just say some are better than others. And everybody has an off day. They're only human, okay? They don't know it all. And we need to stay on top of things for our loved ones. Be aware of what's going on. Ask questions. Get them to confirm. I was talking to one of the nurses that my husband had, and she was saying how she always asks, the patient their name, their birth date. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's not just to see if they're with it mentally, but also to double check to make sure she's got the right patient. Because if she gives the wrong medication to the wrong patient, that could be deadly. It's like she doesn't want that on her conscience, So she always asks birth date and their name. Okay, always, without fail. And hey, if the patient can't answer that, well, then obviously there's another issue there too. Self-advocacy is so important. Advocating for others is just as important. Yes, exactly. Because sometimes you can't advocate for yourself. You might have some kind of condition, you might be unconscious, what have you, and any kind of metabolic imbalance can also screw up your head, so you're not thinking straight. That's why loved ones need to be there and advocating for you as well. That was one thing about not being in the doctor's office with my husband, because of the mask thing. It's like I should have been in there because there was something that needed to be asked, and he forgot to ask the doctor. Okay. It wasn't necessarily that big of a deal, but I wasn't in there, and so he didn't ask. And there's questions I would have asked of the doctor that he did not. So, yeah, being in there, especially when you have someone who might possibly not be totally with it, for whatever reason, it's so important to have a loved one there who can ask those questions. And I mean, not necessarily make medical decisions for them. I mean, if they can make their own medical decisions, that's great. That's wonderful. But sometimes all you need to do is be there to ask the right question, and that will, sometimes, oh yeah, that's right. You know what? And that, taking that into consideration, maybe I'll change my mind on that. Okay. That's all you need to do. Just ask questions. Okay. Nobody cares like family. Nurses and doctors have numerous patients, but family are ours. That is true. That is true. Not that they're not caring people. I mean, they are, but they're also doing a job. And, you can get wore out in a job. Okay. But I'm sure they do care. But I think that there are times when you can get, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you're not necessarily, I don't know, just, you become complacent. That's the word. You become complacent. Okay. And that happens with everybody. A person in the hospital needs someone there to take charge. If not, you don't know what they will do to them. Yeah, I've seen too many bad things happen in hospitals. Yes, it does. Unfortunately, it does happen. And that's why I'm so glad that my sister got well enough to be able to come home from the hospital. And yes, she is still on hospice, but she has improved significantly. I mean, her body is still failing her, but she's been able to enjoy family longer. And that time is precious. And I am praying that she lasts long enough for us to make another trip there. Okay. It sounds promising, but like we all know, any one of us could go at any time. Even those of us who don't realize that we're on our last hours. Okay. It could happen to anybody anytime. Let's see here. Nobody knows everything in any given industry. The smart ones, practitioners, seem to ask more questions. Yeah. Let me see. My wife had just had surgery. Since I couldn't be there with her, we have no idea what was said with her coming out of anesthesia. Yes, exactly. That was another problem with this lockdown situation, and it affected my sister, I'm sure too. Is that at one point you were only allowed one visitor, and then you weren't allowed any. And I don't know, the statistics haven't come to surface yet as to how many deaths there might have been, because they did not have a loved one. They could not have a loved one there to advocate for them. I said that was the most horrible thing that they could have done in the hospitals, was to not allow any visitors whatsoever. Okay, really. That affects patient care. It really does. Oh, so I question everything they gave now. Yeah, exactly. And that's as you should. Question everything. Don't be afraid to move a family member to a different hospital if they're not getting the right treatment where they're at. Yes. But you've got to also be able to realize that they're not getting the right treatment. And, it's difficult. When you start having older family members are starting to go downhill, it is very difficult. That is one thing. I have no regret at not having or not putting my father in a nursing home. No regrets whatsoever. Yeah, we might have had him for a little bit longer, but what kind of life would it have been? He was so happy to be moving to Kentucky here with us, even though he only lived here for 3 weeks. He was so happy about it. Seriously. The happiest I've ever seen him was when that day when I brought him here to the land, and he stood on the land, and he looked out over where the barn is now, okay, and where the pasture is now. And I mean, he couldn't stand there for long, but he did. He was able to do that. And driving home, I asked him what he thought. He was so thrilled. And because it was finally a dream that he had had for as long as he could remember that was finally fulfilled. It's what he wanted as well as me. Okay, it was both of our dreams. So I'm living my father's dream here. And so, I have no regrets at not putting him in a nursing home. He was better off with me. And I will not be putting my husband in a nursing home. If at all possible, he will never go in a nursing home. I will do the best I can to care for him. Hopefully, he won't get that bad anytime soon. Hopefully. Because I'm still trying to build things up here. It seemed like it was fortuitous. Yeah, got to come home. Yes. That's exactly how I'm handling life with my sister. I haven't even told her I'm packing to move, and she told me, don't forget my pictures. Oh, yes. If she knows, maybe she knows. So anyway, yeah, so it has been a whirlwind, a difficult time. And I know I'm not the only one that's been having the difficulties. It has set me well behind with getting stuff done here on the homestead. The chicken coop's not built yet, which needs to be built within a week. And plus, I'm still driving for the Amish. So that takes me away. But at this point, I don't have a choice, because what they pay me is what is keeping the truck running and buying feed for the animals. Not to mention the things that I am learning from them as I go. I thought it was the coolest thing to see your dad fabricate anything that was needed for getting the job done. Yeah. I guess maybe that's where I get it from, Carl. Because I do what I can. I don't have the skills that he had by any means, but I do the best I can. Oh, hi, Trish. You made it. Yeah, and it's we're almost an hour in. That's all. That's okay, Trish. When I sign off, you can always go back and watch the rewind. I know I need to get back to working on the chicken coop pretty soon. I just see, the nice thing about doing this time of day is it's the hot time of the day. So right now I'm inside in the barn. So yeah, this is the barn. Yeah, and so once I get the chicken coop done, I got to rig up something for the ducks. I ain't worried about doing too much for the ducks, because the weather, they don't mind. Just as long as they can get out of the wind when it gets real nasty. There's no huge hurry for the ducks, just as long as they have a secure place to bed down at night, away from predators, because predators will pick them off. And I've got some fencing I need to do. I need to run some temporary fencing. I've let the goats out a couple times, and they go to where I want them to browse, but they tend to wander off, and they don't go very far, but I need them to concentrate on one particular area. So I want to put a fence up that way so they will stay put. One thing I got, I I bought a Cobalt battery powered weed trimmer. I didn't do an unboxing. I bought it and I just needed to get the thing and get it gone. And we happened to be in a Lowe's. We weren't even going to go to Lowe's, okay? But with all this COVID nonsense, it was the only public bathroom that I knew would be open, okay? And so the guy was driving. I mean, we both needed to go. So we had been running around doing errands, and we knew that there was a bathroom. So I said, okay, our next stop is going to be in Lowe's, right there across the street. And he's like, yep, I'm good for that. And so we went in there, and coming back out, I walked right past the display of the Cobalt battery powered weed trimmers. Okay. And they were on sale. And it was the price was just a little bit more than what the cost of a battery. And the battery came with it. Battery and a charger. So, and it's the exact same battery that my chainsaw uses. So now I have 3 batteries to use for either the chainsaw or the weed trimmer. So that has been awesome. I've been able to trim up around here, and also my husband is able to use it for a short period of time. He can't use for the whole battery length. Okay, he's not up to doing that yet, but I figure it's something easy that he can do if he wants to get out and do something, get in some exercise. The doctor did say that he should get out and get some exercise, at least 45 minutes a day. That's my hardest battle right there, is getting him out to do something every day. He does not do that every day, and he needs to. Oh, let me see. I'm sure I missed something. It's like your dad was able to go with you, put up his blessing on your new life. Maybe, yeah. It's like I rushed for him. My husband said, "Oh, we shouldn't go. We should wait. We should wait. We should wait. We should take more time. Take more time." He didn't have more time. I didn't know it, but I knew I had to get down here. Okay, I knew I had to get him down here. He had 3 weeks where he was a Kentucky resident. So, oh, don't forget. Thank you, Trish. Predators. The only predators, to the best of my knowledge at this point, okay, neighborhood dogs. Everybody's dogs, well, except for my golden neighbors, his dogs are penned up. But everybody else's dogs run loose. And that is my biggest predator at this point. A bobcat has been sighted in the area, not by me. I think that my husband saw it based on his description, but his eyesight's not the best. So that's been sighted in the area. Dogs I have seen on my property frequently, and I've chased them off. I've snake shot at them. They weren't close enough for me to hit them, but if nothing else, the noise, because it's a very loud gun, would have chased them off. Not to mention I have the electric fence, and if they get on the electric fence, they get bit by it. But it's not, I don't have all the wires hooked up because I'm still trying to get the bottom line properly placed, because my land is uneven. So my bottom wire for my fence line is not charged. So I'm still working on that. That was one reason why I wanted to get the weed trimmer, so I could trim along that line. But I still need to do some adjustment. I still haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that. If I have to add extra posts or what, I'm still working on that. Let me see here. Got to go finish this chainsaw job before NASCAR starts. NASCAR, seriously? Hey, go for it. Thank you very much for stopping by, Off Kilter. Appreciate you being here. Let me see here. What else do we have besides? There's rumors of fox, and there's rumors of raccoons. However, coon hunting is very popular in the area, and the only sign of raccoon that I have seen around here so far has been a skeleton on the other side of the creek. So far, I don't have them. So, well, anyway, we'll see. That was my son. That was my ringtone. You like my ringtone? The horses. Anyway, yeah, I need to get going. I don't usually stay on here this long, but we got into a subject matter, didn't we? So I'm going to sign off now, guys, and I will probably see you. I'm hoping to be able to get more videos up. As you saw, I posted a video yesterday, and hopefully things start to get normal around here, and I'll be able to get more videos up online for you all. So thank you so very much for being here, and you all have a good one, okay? Talk to you later.